Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast brought to you by the Hot Take Hot Box. My name is Matt McSweeney. I am joined by the Ty Capone. Here to talk about UFC St. Louis. Randy Orton was in the building. I wish we would have got a Randy Orton fight. Would have paid money to watch that. Instead, we got to see Derrick Lewis and then a bunch of slop, and we had some bets and some things happened. So we're gonna get into all of it. Loma with a big performance against the human punching bag that is George Kambosos. I don't know who was doing the ring announcing down there. That guy must have been boozing in between each
Lieutenant Dan Hennessy.
Yeah, he was probably off the Hennessy as my mic is falling apart to start off this podcast. But Ty, how are you feeling today? Did you enjoy the card at all? I mean, it happened, right? It just kind of seems like we're in that holding pattern right now until at least June, where it's just things are just going to happen.
I didn't think the card was that bad. I think it delivered all in all, especially for my expectations. This weekend's going to be a bit of a struggle, but I think especially the main card, the main event ended in a way everybody wanted to see. The co-main, went the way that the hometown crowd wanted. Yeah. Not the way we wanted, but the feature bout was quick. Very quick. Yeah. And then the fight before that, the Ferreira-Renbetsky fight, was a fucking blood and guts affair. So, all in all, I'm trying to... The Waldo Cortez-Robeles to Spain fight, that was just utter garbage. Other than that, I think every fight was pretty solid. Even the Richie Pennington fight, the Hardy-Aldrich fight, they were fucking each other up. I honestly don't think there was really a bad fight. I mean, the main event before the knockout was probably, one of the worst fights. Yeah. So honestly, I can't talk. I can talk shit, and I'm going to. But I honestly looked like this card was good.
So we will get into all that. Did you happen to see Arthur Spielka, his entrance at KSW?
My boy.
He came out as Mr. Freeze, and then he got frozen.
I guess he was in the cryo chamber.
he got frozen in 14 seconds. That way it made the rounds around out. And I saw that outside the MMA community where they're like, wow, what a sick entrance. And then he just gets put to sleep. So always putting a nice target on your back when things don't go your way in the old octagon. But
that was crazy. That was crazy. It's the guy grabbed him, threw him down. I don't know if he hurt him when he threw him down. He grabbed his head and just tossed him. That guy was also large. Arcadius. First off, insane name. Arcadius Rosic. What a sick name. He's 6'8", and he has a bunch of knockouts in the first round, so he's terrifying. And then the main event, our boy Adrian Bartoszinski, who, I don't know why UFC should be throwing money at this fella. Undefeated. He's 28 years old. Big welterweight. He wins by knee bar. That guy's one of the best in the world, not in the UFC. They got to do what they can to get him. Also, the kid Robert Rachala. In the feature bout at 145, he's also nasty. So KSW, man, they have a nice little semblance of talent over there. I know a lot of what they do is theatrical, but they have some talent for sure.
Yeah, KSW, we talk about that jokingly, but on a serious note, they do have some of the best talent outside of the UFC. I mean, we used to think it was Cage Warriors, but a lot of those guys have come over, made the switch, and gotten destroyed. Well, some of them have. They still have produced plenty of
We'll get
talent.
To the Cage Warriors bums that displayed themselves on this card.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. Derrick Lewis. Actually, I have the wrong thing up. But Derrick Lewis, Rodrigo Nascimento. Derrick Lewis scores the TKO victory in the third round, 49 seconds into the third round. Takes his pants off, the old tired bit. That is, I'm really sick of. I got to be honest, sick of that. Yeah, let's get some new material here. But Nascimento was, took him down. He had top control. He had him mounted at one point. It just kind of went.
Lewis got a takedown. How about that?
Yeah,
10 seconds in the fight, goes for a takedown.
Yeah,
gets it, and then eventually gets reversed. He ends up reversing Nascimento when Nascimento got him out. Didn't expect any of that, like the grappling exchanges that happened.
No.
But you never know, I guess, right? Derrick Lewis is unpredictable, I guess.
Yeah, and in a bad way, too, because you're sitting there thinking, oh, my God, I want you to just keep this standing because we both had TKO, and then this guy wants to turn into fucking, Rogerio de Lima in there, and he wants to start, shooting takedowns and stuff. You're like, what are you doing? What's going on? And again, you play stupid games, you get reversed. It easily could have gotten subbed at one point. It's very difficult to sub Derrick
Lewis.
Yeah. But it could have gone left. It always can in the octagon. But second round, it started to switch the other way. You could see Nascimento was expending a lot of energy as the fight went on, and then third round, the only thing that Derrick Lewis had, well, not the only thing, but he also had the power, the striking, but the experience as well, which that came into play here. It felt like, and eventually he just landed a bomb in that third round and finished it up with some strikes. What was it? Kind of like an overhand right, landed like on the side of the head, like near behind the ear, and just
right. But yeah, that'll shut off your nerve quick, especially coming from Derrick Lewis.
Rocked him, sent him packing. And then, there was all sorts of celebration after that. Pants came off. My pants came off at the casino. I was losing my mind, but no, they didn't. It wasn't that big of a hit, but it was a good win, and it's a W for us, a W for Derrick Lewis. We kind of knew this was going to happen just because Nascimento's not ready. He's not, nor is he really that good, in my humble opinion. But he's only 31, so in the heavyweight game, that's like an infant. Some of these heavyweights are near 40, still getting it done. But what did you make of it? Did you care at all? Were you freaking out when this happened?
No, I mean it was fun. It was good. It shows you that he can still hang around for a little bit against guys that are just outside the top 10. After that, he's probably going to lose, but at least he can still be a gatekeeper, main event-ish kind of guy. I think he has the most. He's tied with John Jones for the most main event slots in UFC history, which is kind of crazy considering he's only fought for a title once, right, against DC back in the day. That's after he beat Francis and then Volkov, two fights that he probably shouldn't have won.
Definitely shouldn't have won the Francis fight. That Francis
11
fight is
punches.
One of the most crazy things I've ever seen in my life.
So dumb, so bad. And then the Volkov fight, he was getting absolutely shellacked, and then lands a nice shot at the very end of the fight with like 10 seconds left. So good on him, parlaying that into a title shot, and then gets absolutely steamrolled by DC. Got absolutely steamrolled by Junior Dos Santos. Yep. But then, he'll beat some guys. He'll win fights that he shouldn't, like the ones we were just talking about. Also, the Curtis Blades fight. And then, he'll just drop him to Almeida, Spivak, Pavlovich. And to be very too, if Nascimento was a better wrestler, he probably wins this fight easily. Lewis it looks like he is working on some things. When he's in good shape, when he's fully committed, because I don't think he was really in shape for the DC fight or I forget what fight it was recently. I think it might have been the DC fight or the Cyril God fight. He was not in shape at all. Didn't really show up. Didn't want to be there. When we get him trying and looking pretty good, and I don't necessarily agree with going for takedowns. His corner after the second round was like, all right, do what you do best and fucking hit him with your goddamn lunch pail hands.
Yeah,
and he did. So at least he can still get it done, and at least he can still do it. We'll see how long he wants to keep going for. But he's going to be a tough. He's kind of like just a better, much better, I think, version of Jairzinho. I don't even know his first name. Jairzinho. Okay, I said Jairzinho. Yeah.
I had you in hell, and I know you know his name. That was crazy. That's how I was like, where is he going with this?
I was like, wait, did I forget his name? Just reminds me of a much better version of Rosenstruik. So he can still hang around a little bit. We'll see with the with the new blood coming in and whatnot. But he's still hanging around. I'm not mad at him. I don't love if he gets main events, but I mean, if he's going to get a finish, sure. And same with Alex Perez. Alex Perez just got another main event. And, he delivered in the first one. So, I'd probably rather see these guys than, I don't know, maybe Macy Barber and Rose Namajunas.
For sure.
Which is in, apparently, Rose's hometown of Colorado, which he is not from.
Yeah.
Which Macy Barber is from. So that's kind of a weird angle that they're playing for that one. Anyway, good win for Derrick Lewis. The Black Beast is back. Also, I think it was funny that he called Nascimento a taxi driver. I thought that was pretty funny. So
What did he? What, at the end?
in his post-fight speech, he said, "Yeah, I wasn't gonna let no taxi cab driver beat me. I ain't never heard of him." I was like, "Damn."
God.
Yeah. So
Oh my God, that's so disrespectful. But
about kicking a guy while he's down.
yep. Well, sometimes it's deserved, and when you go out and you catch a big W like this, you get to talk that shit. One of the fights, I just looked at Derrick Lewis and he made me think of like, what fight was he not in shape for, or gave me just bad vibes. That Spivak fight looked like he wanted nothing to do with being in there, and just he wanted to be anywhere else but in that cage, and he got cooked that night. He got grabbed. I mean, he probably would lose to him anyway, just because. And he's just a better grappler than him overall. But at the end of the day, Derrick Lewis gets the W in this. How about Joaquin Buckley getting the unanimous decision victory in front of his hometown of St. Louis? He assembled the Avengers and it worked out. He was ready to go for this fight. All the tall men in St. Louis that have any sort of fighting acumen, he got them in the cage in the gym before this. And he took out Nursultan Ruzaboyev. Ty May, all of our fears and worries about Nursultan really came to light here in this one. Just kind of exposed his game a little bit. He didn't look good at 170. I don't know if that's... I don't know. I mean,
he shouldn't be fighting there.
He made the weight, but he just physically didn't look good. He didn't energy-wise look good. His grappling is bad. You said that, and it really did come to fruition here in St. Louis. I mean, really, he kind of just got beaten every single facet of the game. I think there was one judge. I think Sal D'Amato gave him the first round, and I don't even know if that's appropriate. But either way. It's just a dominant victory for Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah, took him down all 4 times that he tried to take him down. That was a worry with Ruzaboyev, his defensive grappling, his defensive wrestling, really. He has a bunch of submissions, but, have we seen those submissions? Have those submissions come against good fighters? Probably not. So maybe it's a little misleading. Also, I just don't get the move down at 170 after just fighting at 185. I think that was a mistake, so hopefully he bounces back at 185. I would love to see him up there against, whoever the fuck, GM3. Perfect matchup. They kind of remind me of each other. Yeah, good win. He knocked him down in the third. He, got a 10-8, I guess, on one judge's scorecard in the third. Chris Lee.
Yeah.
I think it was Chris Lee. And then Sal D'Amato, I think, gave Ruzaboyev a round, which I don't really know which round. I mean, maybe the
first.
First?
Yeah, I got it here. It's the first.
But I don't even think he, outstruck him per se, and then he got out-grappled. So, yeah, not a great performance from him. It was a good look for Buckley. I still think as he climbs up the ladder, as he climbs up in competition, he's going to he's going to run into somebody that hits hard, and I think that's going to be a problem.
I am getting tired of losing money on him, though. I mean, we keep fading him.
I keep fading him. Maybe I shouldn't, but I still think I guess we'll have to see what his upper bound limits are. I do see some potential in him making a little run at 170. I would like to see him fight next? Sean Brady. Wow. I think that would be a very, very good fight. They can kind of both do a little bit of each. They're not great at one thing, except Sean Brady, I would say, is pretty great. His pressure, his control, his cardio, his chin. Similar-ish fighters. He just has the much better grappling chops. But it looks like Buckley's been working on it. So, and they're both just, Joaquin Buckley's first team all titties. He is yacked out of his mind. Yeah. Cardio looks good. I think, his power will carry over. I would like to see him and either Gilbert Burns. I saw them call each other. Or no, Gilbert Burns has him blocked on Twitter for whatever reason. So,
well, he beat Luke, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't have
he can. Oh, also. Ruzaboyev trains with Sean Brady, so it could be like a redemption fight for Sean Brady. So I see that a lot.
Make things right, Sean Brady, for the people in Philadelphia and the people, the Uzbeks. After the fight, Joaquin Buckley called out Conor McGregor. So that was a realistic call out. He just said basically whatever bullshit that he said. Knows no universe where Joaquin Buckley and Conor McGregor are going to get in the cage. Just know that.
Yeah, Buckley would kill him.
What a waste of time. No, he wouldn't. Joaquin Buckley's chin would get tested there. DC said that it is the worst call out he's ever seen in the cage, but him, Bisping, Chael Sonnen, they all said the same thing. And Joaquin Buckley let it be known. He said, "Let this be known, Daniel Cormier, Michael Bisping, Chael Sonnen, your mamas raised some hoes," with a bunch of exclamation points. Y'all really trying to twist up my words, knowing damn well what I said in that cage, but it's okay. We can all have some fun. So there you go. There's that. And DC replied. I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if you.
Yeah.
The people probably out there know what was said, but I will let you people know. DC said, "Shut up, pussy."
That's crazy. What happens if he has to go into that ring next fight and interview him after he wins? I'm serious. That's crazy.
Shut up.
That's crazy.
Shut up, pussy. Maybe listen. Period. You had a dumbass call out. You're getting talked about by three of the biggest voices in the game. Maybe listen. Another maybe listen. So he's just telling him he's an idiot. It was the worst call out in history. Don't let winning a few fights at 170 pounds get you too excited, bruh. Don't mention Audrey. So I guess that's his mom's name.
I guess his mom, yeah.
Passed away in 2022. Rest in peace.
So
that probably struck a nerve a little bit.
I kind of understand that. I didn't know his mom passed away.
Yeah.
I would be upset. Now, it's just comparing what he said to what Michael Bisping said. Completely different. Michael Bisping's like, "All right, man, I can't wait to see you fight next."
Yeah.
And DC's like, "Shut up, you fucking pussy. You listen to me.
Pussy. It's
you
up,
listen
pussy.
to me." So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens next there. Bisping said, "Have your fun, man, and congrats on a great win. Looking forward to your next fight." Buckley said, "Thank you."
Yeah.
I don't. Did Chael Sonnen reply? Let's see if Chael.
He probably made
replied.
a YouTube video.
He's been on Twitter recently. He tweeted Bo Nickel.
Oh, of course.
Nothing bad. Bo Nickel said he's been in Alaska for 10 days. That's interesting. Hopefully he's not getting some training in with those guys over there in Alaska FC. Back to this fight. Yeah.
It's over. Joaquin Buckley won. I just did one. I wanted to mention the fact that is some of the funny. That's why I love MMA though. That shit doesn't really happen in any other sport. You just get "shut up, pussy" and stuff like that getting said to people. Basically, it's at least vague threats getting thrown back and forth. It's just what a time to be alive. How about
also real quick? How about Dana saying, "Yeah, man, I've been saying all along. We need to get out of the Apex and get in front of these live crowds."
Yeah, sure you have.
And I'm just sitting here. I'm like, when have you been saying this? You said we have this. When have you ever said this?
Dana White is a generational liar. Generational.
Yeah, it works, I guess. Also, I think maybe it's true in a way because TKO obviously wants to save money and stay in the Apex. So I don't know what to believe. It seems like Dana has pressure from the above bosses, whoever they may be at ESPN, TKO, to just throw fights together, sign these guys. Tuukka Rask is now in the UFC. Sign him and just put on these Apex fights. And you're like, all right, Either way, I thought it was hilarious. He's like, "Yeah, I've been waiting to do this." It's like, no, you
have, bud. And
also,
why
don't you come to Tampa
this upcoming weekend? You can't bring that card to, like you said, Tampa, and expect people to be paying the money that they're paying to go to some of these events. So you're gonna actually have to put on a good card in some way so that people will get excited about it. How about Ty? The Black Jag, Carlos Ulberg getting Menefield out of there in 12 seconds. I'm so mad that I didn't bet this, but even I didn't expect it to be this quick. Menefield just ran across the cage like a psychopath. He paid dearly for it. Thanks for coming. Carlos Ulberg gets him out of there in 12 seconds. Really not much to say other than just, another step up in Carlos Ulberg's game. And, I mean, he's skyrocketing up these rankings.
Yeah, and his DMs are skyrocketing. So, he hasn't – yeah, me too. So he hasn't lost since the Kennedy Zachukwu fight. Could have easily won that fight in the first round. If you look at the guys he's fought, obviously not great. But now lately, he was supposed to fight Dominic Reyes. Now he fights Alonzo Menefield. So he's 33. The time is definitely now. Let's see what he's got if he can save face for City Kickboxing.
Ranked 11 now. So he just jumped up a past Guskov. So maybe that's the next fight for the people out there.
Oh man, him and Guskov, dude, that'd be a good one.
Why not? I mean, he should kill Guskov because Guskov just throws hammers. But I'm all in. Sign me up. How about Diego Ferreira getting the ground and pound victory with 9 seconds left on the clock, pulling the ultimate upset against Matus Rembetsky. Maybe if he could have found that end, he would have been able to maybe get this W. Listen, I saw a tweet earlier this week. It was like, who got fraud checked the most, and it was Rembetsky, Despain, and somebody else. I forget who else was on there, but I think it was Nurselton.
Nurselton, yeah.
And I was like, easily for me, Rembetsky. I thought that he was as not a serious contender, but I think I felt like he had all the tools. He was a really good grappler. I thought he had pretty good hands. It seemed like his cardio was somewhat good. He was finishing people. I guess we didn't get to see all the different holes in his game, but man, he got exposed on Saturday. He has no defense whatsoever. He was getting his face jabbed off. He was just eating shots left and right. And the striking was just all looping shots where he was just getting beat to the punch the entire time by Diego Ferreira, and he couldn't even get any of the grappling off. So really just back to the drawing board moment for Mr. Rembetsky, but great win for Diego Ferreira.
Yeah, Diego took some shots in that first round. He got dropped.
Yeah.
And he's old. You thought that chin might have given out on him again, and then he just turned it around and fucked up both of Rembetsky's eyes. I mean, it was brutal. What happened in there and there happened in there and there. But the pace, the knockdown, it won him that round, and then he started the second round hot.
Yeah,
and then Carlos Diego just turned it up and wasn't going away. And obviously, with his jiu-jitsu, his ability to get up is awesome. It's pretty much how you want to teach somebody to get up from your back. Not what Derrick Lewis does, but what CDF does. So, basically closes both of his eyes. And then CDF is like mid-rally, I think, in the second round, at the very end of the round. Gary Copeland stops the fight for whatever reason in the midst of his rally, in the midst of his just combinations, to get the doctor to look at Rembetsky's eyes, which they weren't looking good, but he could still go.
Yeah,
that's something you do. I think Bisping said, now you can bring in the doctor to check in his eyes in the middle of the third round. Like, yeah, those fucking things are closed and bleeding.
Yeah.
So Gary Copeland, your boy, still having a little bit of trouble there, but he's new, so let's give him some time. But good win for CDF. He's back. Lightweight, it's just never easy. No matter who you are, no matter who you're fighting, no matter what day it is, you're always going to get a tough fight at 155. That's literally just how the division goes.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of hammers. It's a bunch of fucking crazy motherfuckers that even on their worst day, or even on the downswing of their career, they can still look great. And Diego Ferreira at 39, little resurgence, even if it's just for one night. Biggest underdog on the card, and he balled the fuck out.
That he did. He was dominant. He looked really good in this fight. Kind of just a turn back the clock sort of moment. I don't know if it's going to last for the next time. Like you said, there's just killers littered throughout the 55 division. I hope I never see Gary Copeland in the cage again. I keep saying that. But it happens over and over and over again. How about Bruce Leroy taking a unanimous decision loss against Sean Woodson? This is my favorite bet of the night. This was Lock City. Excuse me, from the second that I placed it. It just, Sean Woodson, as Ty would say, couldn't finish his dinner. Couldn't finish anything if it was put right in front of him. He's just there for the points, just the score. He takes some shots, he lands some shots. He's hanging out. He's 12-1-1. He's good. He's not a bum. It's just, he's gonna run into a problem when he's gonna try and beat some of these upper level. The guys in the top of the 45 division are murderers. Pretty much the entire top 15 is murderers row. So how you're going to survive in there, beating Danny Ige by points, Diego Lopez, Edson Barbosa. Good luck, pal. That's all I can say.
A lot of good grapplers. So, and for somebody that's that tall and lanky, it's tough grappling defensively because you can't find those the space to get out of spots. And, Diego Lopez would have him in hell. It's crazy he fights at 145. I swear to God, he's fought up in his career at like 200 when he boxed or something like that. He's got the arches tatted on. I know you like that.
Yeah.
Repping St. Louis. Also, I didn't know he used to fight in backyards with Kimbo Masvidal. Didn't know he did that at all.
Really?
So
no, I didn't know that either.
That's kind of cool. I saw a lot of people score this for Caceres, which is apparently how it's pronounced. Don't know. I would have to ask him.
I'm okay. I'll just pronounce it how I want. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. But
Caceres. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I've heard.
Sounds like something the way Bisping would explain.
Luke Thomas's wife, who's Colombian, says it's Caceres.
Okay,
so.
Jesus. Of course,
she's a hottie. So
yeah. Well,
a lot of the media scores scored it for Caceres 29-28. There was one guy who had it 30-27 for Woodson. That's a little crazy. I don't know. I thought Woodson won. The first one was close, but I thought he won it with activity, mixed up his strikes well, went low, went high. Round 2 and round 3 were very close, I will say. The live odds had it as a toss-up midway through round 3.
Yeah.
I just thought he did more. I thought more activity. I will say Alex did kind of start to find his rhythm right first round. He landed 18 significant strikes. Second round 32, third round 32. So, and his percentage went from 36 to 43. They kind of just mirrored each other. Not mirrored each other exactly because, Caceres was going to the body more. Sean was going to the legs more. Sean's boxing looked better. It wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing fight. Neither of them are. But no. I thought it was a pretty good scrap back and forth. Very close. Very tough. Nobody really was able to put themselves nobody had a big moment, I'll say, but I guess Sean was able to put himself ahead early and kind of just out hustled him really. And I do think it's close. I saw a lot of people having it for Caceres or maybe saying robbery. There's a couple fights in this card where I saw a lot of split between people that I follow on Twitter, people in the media, and everybody that I think judges fights well, including myself. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. A lot of these were close. I thought this was close, but I do think Sean rightfully won.
I think so, too. I think he won 1 and 3. I think 2 you can definitely give to Caceres. But, I don't know. I thought Woodson had done enough. I agree with you. I don't think – I mean, it was close, but I probably would have screamed robbery if it had gone the other way. So maybe the right decision was made. Well, one judge gave all 3 rounds to Woodson. I don't know about that. You are right, definitely, though. Caceres, sorry. He's just going to have to be Bruce Leroy to me from now on. So Bruce Leroy, Bruce Leroy, he did start to really find his way later on in the fight. I guess that's kind of how it's going to be against a lot of people, especially in these 3-round fights. When you fight Sean Woodson, it's going to take you a little bit to realize, to get around the fact that he's got such a reach advantage and a height advantage over you. He's such a large human being. And eventually you find your way, but you look up at the clock and there's 1 minute left in the second round. You're like, oh shit, man, I'm in trouble here. And then he still finds a way to win the third round. So, good win for Sean Woodson. How about Salsa Boy, man, with the upset, another upset of the day, taking out Robles de Spain. This is a big jump up in competition. I know it's not, it's crazy. You're like, what? Like Cortez Acosta, he's not that. I mean, he's still 12-1. He's a very, a good boxer for MMA comparison. I mean, we know he's been put to sleep multiple times in the scored circle, but Robles de Spain, it doesn't look like they ever wrestled him in camp. I don't think it looked like he had never fought off a takedown or anything, and he had no IQ, no nothing whatsoever. He was gassed out 3 minutes into the fight. It was all of the worst things that you could imagine happened, and Cortez Acosta didn't do shit once he got him to the ground. He just laid on him, and that was it. He landed a few shots. This fight never came close to being finished. It was just... I mean, Despain's such a big fucking guy, so I guess he was worried about him trying to get back up. I don't know. Either way, I was glad this fight was over when it was over.
Yeah, that was bad. Obviously, Despain has no idea what he's doing on his back. Crazy. It's just like it looks like me or you, and not you, me hopping in there. Yeah, that was wild. I'm kind of surprised they gave him somebody like Waldo, who does have a good chin, who I guess he wasn't a big wrestler before this fight, but it was just like a weird match, I guess, if you will. Chris Lee gave a 10-8 in the third round, so I'm not sure. He was giving 10-8s out all night.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he was on. He was ready. He was pulling the trigger. Very trigger happy, but
I hate that.
yeah, not really much else to say about this fight. I mean, Despain's probably going to fight some absolute stiff next and get a 15-second win. I don't think his style's good. His hands aren't like good. He has power, but
it's too wild.
He's a Taekwondo guy. Yeah, it's maybe if he would have started this like 6 years ago, 10 years ago, this sport, maybe. But like Mark Cuban says, I'm out.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I'm out too. But I was just gonna say, like, if he was 31 or 32, we'd be having a different conversation right now, and maybe they would never have put him in there with Walter Cortez Acosta. They would have maybe slow rolled him a little bit. But now, since he's in his upper 30s, they're like, we gotta kind of hurry this up and try to get this guy, 35. I guess he's not crazy old, but still, he's old in comparison. I mean, he's running out of time.
Very raw.
And he's raw, yeah, exactly. So he's gonna need to really put some wins together and just get better overnight, pretty much, which I don't see that happening. It just kind of exposed the fact that if he runs into a wrestler, if that guy gets his hands on him, it's over. And there's literally no debate whatsoever. That was some of the worst grappling. Even there's guys that have never fought before who get. I mean, James Toney had better grappling than Robles to Spain. Honestly, it looked like he at least he fought it off a little bit. I mean, he got taken down by Randy Couture. This guy's getting taken down by Waldo Cortez Acosta. So, what are you gonna do? Chase Hooper.
3 times.
This was the one I'm mad. I'm most mad at myself at because I told you that I wanted to take it. It felt right. I mean, honestly, it should have been a TKO because your boy Vyacheslav was getting his head bashed in, and you just didn't know how this was going to end. Whether it was going to be a quick TKO or eventually was he going to find the neck, which he did find the neck. Your boy Keith Peterson called it later, like early, but then later than he should have. Classic Keith Peterson. Darce choke is in. The guy doesn't even really tap. He just touches his back. Says, yeah, that's it. Enough's enough. Chase Hooper gets a submission victory over Vyacheslav Borishev. And Chase Hooper continuing the show, man. Maybe we were a little too quick to cast him away. He might have some room for growth here.
It looks better, right? He looks a lot better. I mean, his striking is still a work in progress, but he dropped Borishev early in this fight with a nice little left hand, and he's still only 24. I think he's looking like he's filling out.
Yeah,
kind of getting his man strength. He's again still 24. So the room. I mean, by the time he's 28, 29, maybe, hopefully, he's going to be an even different fighter than he is now.
Yeah, and the striking's getting so good, man.
Yeah, I do have some worries about. I think he's a dog. I think he's tough. I think the striking defense and it might be an issue.
Yeah,
I don't think he has a bad chin. He gets hit. I had where's my tab at? Okay, yeah, dude, he beat the brakes off him in this fight.
He really did.
58 ground strikes. Pretty much all of his strikes were on the ground. Borishev in these 8 minutes or 7 minutes, 8 minutes. He landed 2 strikes. It was just one-way traffic the entirety. I mean, all kinds of different spots and positions. He was getting just elbowed and beat up and put in this and put in that. And it did look like he tapped. It was just one tap. It wasn't like a double or triple. I think Lomachenko said it doesn't have to be multiple taps. If you just tap once, like just, a tapping motion, kind of like how Fedor did when he got tapped out by Verdum. Just a simple one, and that's it. That I don't know. He was mad about it, but
of course, he is.
Like you said, it could have been a TKO at multiple times. And if he didn't tap, he was going to probably take a nap from the Darce, or he was just going to get his skull elbowed. He had like multiple hematomas on his head from multiple elbows. So Chase Hooper is looking like he could be something here at lightweight. So
would have just prolonged the beating, to be honest. So I think Keith Peterson did save him. It would have infuriated me had they called it a couple times where I've been on the other side of this where they call it early and then they were like, wait, it's a no contest. You're like, what? Like, I forget when that happened recently.
Mike Beltran did it.
Yeah, well, one of the fights, and I'm pretty sure the Jared Gordon fight that happened. Where that was like a headbutt, but There was like something recently where they called
somebody
it,
was getting choked out.
Yeah,
and he didn't tap. Yeah,
was it
he was about to.
Dan Argetta or something? I had like
Argetta?
like plus like 800. It was something crazy where I was like, "Are you fucking like?" I was so infuriated that happened, but. Hey, a good win for Chase Hooper, and at the end of the day, it wasn't a crazy.
Also, how about having him in a like a reverse triangle and a toe hold at the same time? I didn't even know that was like a thing.
Yeah, Chase Hooper's a menace on the ground. That's going to be evident
scary
as time goes on, and like we've said, he's only getting better. So now I have officially removed him from the fade list. He's now on the bet list, so we're going to see who he gets matched up with next time out. This was the tie. This one was tough. I hated to see this for you. I know you were at home screaming, "No!" 37 seconds, Esteban Ribovics. He Pat McAfee's this guy's head into the rafters. Terrence McKinney sends him into autopilot and just has him chilling there, looking like a guy in the SEPTA station, chilling there, waiting for somebody to throw some coins in his cup. That was it was a rough night for Terrence McKinney. Terrence McKinney is not bad. He's really not. He has all the skills in the world, but it just seems like it's really kill or be killed. You're right though. First round, you might as well just bet your life savings on the first round. Either way, I did not think it was going to be this quick, though. Ribovics killed him quick.
Well, 12 seconds in, McKinney ducked his head down, and he almost took a head kick worse than the one he took.
Yeah.
But they came together and like clinched up real quick. So I think Ribovic saw something. He went for it multiple times. So finishing that counter with a head kick at the very end, he didn't even see that coming. I didn't even really see it coming. He did. I mean, obviously, he definitely didn't see it coming. And then he says, "Congrats to Esteban. Beautiful kick set up. That's the fight game, a game of inches. We'll be back. Thank you guys for your support. We'll be back." He said this multiple times now after multiple rough losses. And at least he has a good mentality, a good mindset. I just worry about him. He's just, he's getting knocked out in brutal ways.
5 knockouts.
Brutal. Yeah, 5 knockout losses. The Bonfim flying knee was brutal. The Sean Woodson flying knee was brutal. The Drew Dober beatdown was pretty bad, and then this one was pretty bad. Sadikov, the choke was whatever, but his wins are Brendan Marat, Mike Breeden, Eric Gonzalez, Perez Zion, Matt Frivola. The first two or the last two are good. After that, it's a big nothing burger. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I really was surprised he didn't come out here and try to wrestle right away, like just go for a power takedown and see if he could just do it, because he's done that before. When he fought for Eziam, he just went right away for a takedown and got it, and that was it. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's next. Maybe this was a fluke or, just not a lucky shot, but, maybe if they run it back again, that doesn't happen that quickly. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is here for T-Rex, but I hope he can bounce back.
As someone calls the line, they're gonna have to call them back. Tabitha Ritchie taking care of business here. Did you? I have a few questions. Did you agree with the decision? It seems like the only round of contention here in this one was the second round. Rob Francis gave that to Pennington. The other two judges being Chris Lee and Brian Italian giving it to Tabitha Ritchie. So did you enjoy this fight, and did you agree with the decision?
Brian Italian?
Yeah, Puccillo.
Puccillo. I thought Tisha won. I thought she won this fight. I don't think she won 30-27, but I think there could have been an argument that she won every round. Let me bring up. Hold on, there's 35 things happening on this stupid phone. I probably should have 7,000 things open though, right? That's probably smart.
It kind of slows things down at a certain point.
I guess it was Tisha outstruck her by significant strikes every round. She was getting outstruck a little bit in the other rounds, but Tabitha was, kind of just tapping her. The harder shots was Tisha. I think round one she landed more shots, better shots. She had the takedown at the end of the round, or the takedown at the end of the round. I thought was meaningless. Round two, it was mainly Ricci controlling her against the cage, going for a takedown, just doing nothing. So I'm not really sure how she landed the better strikes there. And then in round 3, it was mainly the same thing, but Tabitha was able to finally land some strikes. I thought Tisha won 1 and 2 and maybe lost 3 just because Tabitha had finally put out some volume. But the second round, it was just getting hugged against the cage. 3 minutes of control against the cage that didn't result in 1 takedown. Not sure how anything she did beyond that results in Tabitha getting the second round. So I kind of disagree with that, but I thought it was a decent fight when they struck. I mean, Tisha was game. Tabitha was not. She was just trying to hold her against the cage. Went 1 for 10 on takedowns. So I was not impressed by Baby Shark whatsoever.
Yeah, this fight did nothing for me. So a good win for Tabitha, but at the end of the day, I don't really care. That girl. I just wish that there was a smaller weight class that she could go fight at because she's just too small to really do anything with any of the other girls. How about we got Trey Waters with a unanimous decision victory over Billy Goff. This one fight of the night, Ty. Our boy Billy Goff came up short.
It was close though.
It was.
How did you score? Because there was a 30-20. There was 2 30-27s on the scorecard, which I don't think I agree with at all. And then all over Twitter, I saw people that thought Billy Goff won. If you look at the media scoring, it's a little split. One guy had a 30-27 Goff. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
A couple people had a 29-28 Goff. That was kind of split with 29-28 Waters, and a couple people had a 30-27 Waters. I thought
he outstruck him, right?
It was tough because but he was coming forward. He was throwing a lot of shots, but he was getting chipped with some hard shots, But it was just tough because there were so many strikes getting thrown. I mean, round 1 was crazy as fuck at the end. They were just swinging. But then Waters dropped him, kind of, I think, right? To a knee at least. I think all in all, he probably edges it that round with that slight knockdown. The ref somehow missed an illegal knee from Trey Waters. Not sure how that happened. Round 2 was pretty even until the last about 90 seconds. I thought Trey Waters landed clean shots and then had a nice little power guillotine that was kind of in. Still a close round, but I thought at the very end of the round, he kind of just took control. Round 3 began, and Waters was minus 160 live. And then there was another close round. I thought Goff won that one. So really comes down to round 2, I think. And, I watched it twice. I still don't really know. I think I had it 29-28 for Trey Waters. And that's coming from a guy who bet on Billy Goff and likes Billy Goff. Billy Ray Goff.
I probably would agree with that, honestly.
Yeah, but I see a lot of people saying the opposite, like it was a robbery. Maybe, I don't know. I can't really say it's a robbery.
It's just kind of the way Billy Ray. I love that his name's Billy Ray now, but the way Billy Ray fights, just going to be a mucked up war where he's going to take shots, he's going to give them back, and if the fight goes to decision, you're going to see a lot of instances where maybe it doesn't go his way. Trey Waters, I'm not a fan, not impressed by, I should say either. But
yeah, he's pretty big. He should move up to 185 and he should fight Nursultan. That's what he should do.
Ruzaboyev. They gave Nursultan apparently to Ian Gary. Ian Gary said yes. I guess that's not going to happen anymore now that this fight just happened this past weekend. But I also saw that. Yeah, who cares? How about Charles Johnson getting the unanimous decision victory against Jake Hadley? How about that, man? This is a nice sneaky money line bet for me and you, Ty. Didn't look good in the first round. He vetted himself. Figured it out. Gary Copeland in there, just distracting from everything, but good win for Charles Johnson.
Got the knockdown the second round.
Yep.
Didn't get taken down once. And, I think Hadley couldn't get him down and got outstruck and got dropped, and that's what happens when you're a Cage Warriors fraud. That's just what happens. So, shout out to Charles Johnson. Needed this fight. Gets it in St. Louis. And, I wish we would have just put a lot. I for some reason I felt so good about this.
I know.
We should have put the podcast on it.
We really
should have put the entirety of the mortgage, the second mortgage, the third podcast, the fifth podcast, the studio that we don't own. We should have put everything we had and didn't have on this Charles Johnson money line. It just felt right. I felt like his takedown defense was good enough for Jake Hadley, who's not that good. And his striking's average at best.
Yeah.
He goes to the body, he goes to the legs, but At head strikes, he got smoked. At distance, he got smoked. And that was pretty much that. And he got dropped.
And he did get dropped. It's a good win for Charles Johnson. I'm glad he's out of the Apex fighting in front of people again. So maybe his family got to see it this time.
Yeah,
not being ushered out immediately the second the fight is over. Great organization that we're here talking about. How about your girl? You almost said your boy, but your girl Veronica Hardy taking care of business, getting a unanimous decision victory over J.J. Aldrich. This was one of your wins of the night, plus 120 on the decision. I did not watch a punch of this fight. This was a little that I got to the screen a little bit late, and I wasn't going to go back and watch this because why would I?
I saw people saying the same thing for this. They were saying robbery. They thought J.J. Aldrich won. I thought she lost almost every round of this fight. It was pretty decent. They were throwing hands for a decent part of this. The third round was close. That's about it. I just thought it was an easy win for Hardy. She won 1 and 2. Yeah. Maybe she won 3 as well, but it doesn't even matter. They were close rounds, but her striking looks a lot better. Aldridge was kind of controlling her against the cage, not doing anything with it at times for the third round and the first. And Hardy's just getting better and better. Her hands look smooth, crisp, clean. She was, bloodying J.J. Aldridge's nose, which I believe happens every fight.
Yeah.
And just beat the shit out of her. But just hit her with the much, much harder shots.
It's a shame that is UFC St. Louis. It's a shame we lost our boy Juicy Giuseppe. He didn't get to fight Jared Gooden, who had a medical thing going on. I don't know what exactly.
I completely forgot that
I agree. Until I just saw it on the page, I was like, wow. $50,000 to Carlos Ulberg, well deserved. Diego Ferreira, your boy CDF, getting $50K, and then Trey Waters and Billy Goff getting $50K. So there you go. Shout out to everybody getting bonuses. We have a card.
Boners.
We have a card coming up next week, you're not next week. This upcoming weekend, Saturday, we have Usyk, we have Fury, we have all sorts of stuff that we are going to talk about on tomorrow's episode. But our boy Lomachenko, Ty, took care of business, got that TKO that we were looking for. I had that. That was my last bet of the night on Saturday at the casino. Little plus 270 Lomachenko TKO. Thanks for coming. 2 body shots.
Easy work.
My boy, shout out Nelson, had Lomachenko to win and more than 1.5 knockdowns, which he got both of them in the 11th round. I think it was plus 700 or something crazy that he cashed that out. So shout out to Nelson with the big hit. Bought me McDonald's. Thank you.
Yeah. Betting on more than 2 knockdowns basically is crazy because I don't think Kambosos has ever. No, he was down. Yeah, he was down against Teo. But besides that, I don't think he's really ever been knocked down. So that's a good hit, man.
He was
that's a
beating
crazy
the piss
hit.
out of him, man.
Yeah, he beat the brakes off him. He landed 175 shots to 40. I don't think Kambosos landed more than 8 rounds in a fight. In a round, 8 punches in a round, I should say. 2% he landed of his jabs. Insane. 2%.
What?
He was 4 of 182.
Let me ask you, what do you think they're going to do next with Loma? What do you
11%. He landed of his total punches.
Well, I mean, Loma just moves so well. That has always been.
And that guy doesn't know how to move at all.
No.
After the second round, he was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, he wanted out of there. You could tell.
He had no clue what to do. And let's just talk about Mr. George Kambosos here for a little bit. All right. Okay. He also owes his former manager $350,000. So
nice.
He's taken multiple L's. Loses about what? All 10 rounds to Lomachenko. When he fought Maxie Hughes, I think he lost 7 of those 12. I think Maxie Hughes was robbed. So he went 5-7 against Hughes. Maybe he won 2 combined rounds against Devin Haney. So he was 2 for 22 in those fights. Maybe, right? Maybe 1 of 23. Probably won 6 of the rounds against Mickey Bay. So went 6-4. Same thing with Lee Selby, 7-5. And I think he won 7-5 versus Teo, which that fight, you remember Teofimo let the mountain punch him in the abs, and he was like, yeah, look how tough I am. And he fucked up his esophagus. Remember that?
Yep.
So there's that. So that's 27 rounds.
Big brain on Teofimo. That
he won in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights. 27 rounds that he's won, 53 rounds that he's lost. It's a 33.75 percentage. And he's made north of $20 million. How crazy is that?
It's boxing, man.
How crazy is that? Good for him. Good for him. Guy stinks.
They keep going to Australia. They keep buying tickets to go watch that.
For some reason,
fight.
he keeps getting home field advantage fights for titles. It's insane. So Lomachenko finally wins the IBF belt. He won that for his father. I don't think IBF's the one he never won before. He looked good. I don't think he's fallen off per se, but he has lost the fights where he has stepped up. Right? He had said he had an injury against Teofimo, which makes sense because then he beat the fuck out of Nakatani, but that guy wasn't good. Didn't finish Comey.
Yep.
He had a good win against Ortiz. Fought to a draw, I guess, basically, versus Haney. So I guess what's next for him? I mean, the IBF mandatory is William Zepeda. I don't think many people want to fight him. He beat the absolute fuck out of Maxie Hughes a couple months ago. That was bad. That fight could have been stopped after the second round. William Zepeda is very, very good, very young, just comes forward. Nobody wants to fight him. That's the IBF mandatory for Loma. I would love that. Top Rank has a lot of different options. Shakur Stevenson could be next, but I don't know if he's going to be with Top Rank anymore. He's tweeting a lot of stuff. I don't know. I don't know what Shakur Stevenson is up to these days.
I never want to watch him fight again. He
has a fight against Hartunian, who I believe had a good close fight with Frank Martin recently. So we'll see what Shakur does in that fight. Navarrete fights this weekend against Baranchik, which would make him a 3-division champ coming up from 120 or 126. Navarrete could be an option. He is a dangerous guy. I think Lomachenko could beat him, but Navarrete swings wild from crazy angles. What about Gervonta Davis? Now, he has to beat Frank Martin. That's going to be a tough test. What do you think about Gervonta Davis, Lomachenko at 135, if they can even get there?
That would be awesome. Now that's something that I would love to see because I mean no one's really been able to really find Loma's chin like that and finish him, and it seems like it would be a perfect kind of stylistic matchup for Lomachenko, right? I mean that would be where he could maybe dance around. Tank would be trying to find him the whole time and find his chin, and maybe he would be able to kind of be the one to defeat and take down Gervonta Davis. I would love that. That would be awesome.
And that's probably 1 and 2 at 135. I mean, I would put Shakur Stevenson over Lomachenko. I know he's boring. I love him. I love Shakur. He is boring. 21 wins, 10 knockouts. When Floyd was this age, he had a lot of knockouts. So those comparisons, even though they kind of are similar, they should probably stop. But there's nobody at 130, right? The champions are all split up. Navarrete's moving up now. Oshaki Foster probably might have to move up also. That's probably 1 and 2. 2 and 3 or 1 and 3. Lomachenko, Gervonta at 135. I would love for that fight to happen. I like the Zepeda matchup a lot, and I think that might be next. I don't know. Top Rank can really do whatever they want. You never know what Gervonta Davis is even going to do. His life is pretty wild. I just think that's what I want to see. I also want to see Shakur and Gervonta, but also part of me doesn't want to see that. I mean, that's two low volume guys who throw like 30 punches per round. That would be very boring, I think, until Gervonta maybe finds Shakur's chin. Gervonta Davis, Vasily Lomachenko, make that for September, December. Let's do it. Let's do it for the belts. Not all of them, but a couple of them.
Hey, if you're listening out there, Your Excellency, please make sure you get this done for us. Give us some more fights. We appreciate the work you're doing in the boxing space. Not necessarily other stuff, but hey, man, just try to help us out in this boxing stuff. Keep paying out the money. Make sure these fights happen. So, Ty, that's it. We will have
Real
a full.
Quick, though.
Go ahead.
Real quick, co-main event. Andrew Maloney lost. Your boy.
Oh yeah, I saw.
Bouncing back from that absolute knockout from Nakatani. He thought this was the biggest robbery ever. He freaked out, retired twice, and then I guess said he was going to come back. He wasn't retired. I don't know. He hasn't been having a good time. Obviously, we talked about it earlier. Lieutenant Dan Hennessy looks like a carnival worker up there. He throws his cards up in the air when he announces.
Yeah,
that guy is just – so he fucks up the Maxie Hughes – not Maxie Hughes. I don't know if it – probably not related to him, but Nina Hughes, Trinica Johnson, who's also kind of hot. She wins the biggest moment of her life, her career. She wins a title and new. and he fucks up and says "and still," and everybody's looking around like "and still." This chick won like 9 of the 10 rounds. That was crazy. I think he also. So I think he posted on social media that he's doing one more fight and that's it, and he's done. And his mental health has taken a toll because of the messages he's getting on social media. So,
well,
there you go. If you can't take the heat, man, get out of the kitchen, brother.
To retire after Backlash, no longer the world's punching bag. Okay, bro. Go fuck yourself. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. But
I mean, come on.
Like, just fucking admit you're like, I made a mistake. Bruce Buffer did it.
I'm pretty sure.
Still undefeated. Everyone's like, wait, what? And he just started laughing. He's like, oh, fuck.
Well, Bruce Buffer's terrible.
No, he's really not, though. That's the thing. That's what you keep having to understand. That you're going to miss him when he's gone.
Hopefully he's gone tomorrow.
No, you didn't have to listen to fucking Joe Martinez. All right, fight fans.
Are you ready? I'm fucking
and everyone, all you hear is crickets. Literally, crickets
he's in the
going
apex.
around.
There's 3 people in there. There's actual crickets
because
in
they
the
don't
arena.
let that bum go anywhere. They don't let that bum go do that
he
shit
goes
out
to Mexico, ESPN Noche. Come on.
Stop. Bruce is a fucking staple. He is the king of ring announcing.
Yeah.
Other than David
Staple his
Diamante.
fucking mouth shut. Yeah.
The Diamond.
Lucas Brown was also in this card. He's 45. Big Daddy Lucas Brown got knocked out in the first round. It's probably curtains for Mr. Big Daddy, I think so.
Yeah. Listen, I'm looking forward to this weekend's action. We got a lot to talk about. We got all sorts of shit going on this weekend. There's fucking
Sergey Kovalev is on this main card.
Yeah, I saw that.
What the fuck?
Bernard Hopkins is fighting this weekend. No,
sure.
I just made that up.
Him against the ropes.
Inshallah,
Frank
brother.
Sant. So, do you remember our boy Arslanbek Makhmudov? He got beat the fuck up.
Yeah, that was bad.
On the Day of Reckoning card by Agit Kabayal.
Yeah.
Well, Agit Kabayal, the German fella, is back on this Usyk main card or undercard against Frank Sanchez, the undefeated Cuban, the Cuban Flash. So they're both 24-0. That's a good fight. They're both 24-0. That's a good fight. Kovalev is back against an undefeated Sweden fella. Joe Cordina is back defending his 130-pound belt. We'll see if he moves up to 135. That could be a sneaky play. The Welshman. And then Jai Opetaia, the scary cruiserweight, is fighting Myris Briedis again. Not sure why. I think he's probably going to knock him out this time. So this card isn't great. It starts at noon. That sucks. It's in the Saudi Arabia. So hopefully I can find time to watch the main event. Just a quick preview. I have the Tyson Fury money line.
Yeah, we'll get into a whole big in-depth breakdown, but I think I'm with you. So
what else do we have this weekend?
There's PFL. I think Cedric Doumbé's fighting.
Doumbé's back.
There's UFC.
Mix.
There's all sorts of playoffs going on around all sports, and the Phillies are rolling along. So we will have plenty to talk about on tomorrow's episode of the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast, brought to you by the Hot Take Hot Box. My name is Matt McSweeney.
I'm Ty Capone, and just so you guys know out there, the Dodgers are on the Phillies' heels.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, don't listen to anything he says about the Dodgers, and make sure you fire a horse this weekend in the Preakness.